Hi, welcome back to Heart of Gold. I am Paul Chartier. We have a good friend, Lynn Hudgens, on from Junior Achievement.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
You've been on many times.
Many times.
And many changes.
That's right.
You've been with JA how many years?
19 years.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And
you've been there. Yeah, you've been there a long time with me.
we've been around
on different things.
Yeah, we've been bumping into each other
Exactly.
for different reasons. Your first office was where?
Shoot, where was my first
Before
office?
Mill Pond.
Before Mill Pond, there was Harrodsburg Road, and my very first office, I was there probably 10 months, was Custer Drive.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And how things have changed. And let's do this for the people that don't know, because we're gonna end this with a crescendo
Yeah.
of what we know is going on with Junior
Sure.
Achievement. When you started with JA, what was the core of your business?
Well, the core of the business was volunteers go out into the classroom and teach kids about workforce readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. People like yourself, and which is one of the core
Tenants.
thank you,
Yes.
of Junior Achievement,
Yes.
is to get that out of classroom person who has the out of classroom experience into into teach.
Before you joined JA,
Uh-huh.
I volunteered in the early 80s,
Yeah.
and we made things.
Yes.
We made jumper cables, and some people made some other things. Were you making things then, or was it just the classroom?
It was just the classroom then. By that time, they had sold, where you went and made things was on Palumbo Drive.
Yeah.
And they had sold that building to create a small endowment fund for Junior Achievement.
Okay.
And so by the time I got there in '98, that's why we were in that Custer Drive
Okay. All right.
office.
So Junior Achievement has really, to me, evolved with the needs of the community.
Right.
And you've used volunteers, great volunteers in the community, professionals and whomever, to go in and teach the students what?
Teach them financial literacy, what that means, because a lot of people don't understand what that financial literacy means, work readiness, not teaching somebody how to be a CFO or a personnel manager or something like that, just the basics of how to be a good employee, teamwork, leadership, being on time, patience, communication skills, all those things. And then entrepreneurship, because we've got certain classes that are just totally for entrepreneurship, to talk about, if you're an entrepreneur, what type of traits would an entrepreneur possess? So.
And that happened for you from '98 through maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Now that's still going on.
Yes.
But something very exciting happened, that you took a busload of people to Louisville.
Right.
And what happened?
Well, we decided, our board began evolving, I guess, in the very beginning of the calendar year 2012. We literally took the board and met with the board in Louisville, had kind of a dual board meeting at their facility, and their facility was a JA BizTown, JA Finance Park. And it had been open since 2004. Well, we had a chairman at that time, Ed Staten. Ed worked with LG&E and KU, had an office in Louisville and an office in Lexington.
Okay.
And he's like, JA does really cool stuff, but we've got to have a game changer here. We've got to have a destination where people understand what it is we do. We're not trying to always talk to them about it. They can see it and they can touch it and they can feel it.
Theory versus practice.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so Ed corralled, he was our chair, corralled the board, took him to Louisville, got him excited about it. I'll never forget Mike Scanlon said, "You mean this thing does not lose money?" He said, "Okay, I'm in. This makes total sense to me. I think this is the greatest thing in the world." One by one, we got people going on the board. Then a couple of months later, we decide, okay, let's have a feasibility study, see if this thing's even possible. Fayette County Public Schools comes to the table. Tom Shelton, superintendent at that time, says, Lynn, you've got this cool program. We've got buildings, old schools or whatever, that we don't use that you all could use, and we can work together on this. So things just, the wheels kind of turned. We had the feasibility study, said we could probably raise $2 to $2.5 million towards this effort. You know, and we, first off, we got all the board 100% involved, got all the staff 100% involved. Then we went out and into the community after that and just began these last 4 years just going along and talking to folks, and one trip after another to Louisville to let them see what was going on.
It's always a risk to name names and forget about some names.
Yeah.
Are you confident to be able to talk about your financial partners in how they stepped up and thank them today?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty well. You know, we've got from an individual standpoint, you've got Gary and Sheila Bello. I mentioned Mike Scanlon. Mike he's sponsoring the Philanthropy Center. He wants kids to learn how they give back. So he's sponsoring that. You've got Chick-fil-A, who's the restaurant. You've got Kentucky One Health and UK Healthcare, who are playing together in the same day, in the same thing. You got City Hall. I don't have a sponsor of City Hall, but then I've got UPS, Fort Bank,
Channel 18,
Toyota, kind of going around there, Keeneland, UK,
Herald Leader,
LGNEKU, the Lexington Herald Leader, Kentucky Society of CPAs,
right.
iHeartRadio has come on as our radio partner, and I think that's got it all there. And then like the Commercial Property Association of Lexington, they built our kind of gazebo student pavilion where they have the town meeting. Andy Shea and the Lexington Legends were an early partner with us, and they're sharing actually a wall mural with Davis H. Elliott Company. We've got there, and the Marksberry Family Foundation did the community room and sponsored that area. And then, and really cool, in the lobby, we want to make it, you know, when you go into these places.
This is at Lindley off of Georgetown Road.
On a little street called Spur Road.
It was a vacant building.
Yeah.
And then they came to you and said, here.
Well, what it was, the Learning Center at Lindley, great program. That has not gone away. They had planned for years to move that to a new home anyway. And so that was going to move out of the school. And they've moved down the street to the old Booker T. Washington building there on Price Road. And so what we did was, we don't have the school. We have 12,000 square feet of the school. And so Fayette County Public Schools continues to do, I think, some professional development and some other things in the rest of the school.
Using the space.
And using the space,
so
exactly.
So we know where it is.
Yeah. And I want to mention real quick about the lobby. When you go in these biz towns, you can really get a feel that you're in central Kentucky or wherever it is you are. And so we had Keene Ridge Farm step up and have this cool stall door and a couple of horse murals. We had Darley, Go Dolphin. They did the same thing. And then we've got some facts about the equine industry. Then we've got on the other wall Fayette Alliance and Fayette County Farm Bureau Federation, kind of sharing a wall there.
You would make any NASCAR driver proud that you named every sponsor that's not written all over your clothing. I've seen BizTown.
Yeah.
So you walk in this big room.
Right.
And it's horseshoe shaped.
Right.
With all these different businesses. So when the kids go in there, what happens?
Well, each kid, when they come, now they've already had in the classroom about 12 hours of lessons that prepares them for this. What's an economy? How money goes? You know, what does the community look like? That kind of stuff. Okay, so when they come in, they also know where they're going to work. Every storefront there has a CEO, and every storefront has a CFO.
So it's like a little city.
It's like a little city.
They all have jobs.
They all have jobs. And so when the kids get there, they know which job they have. So they know they're going to be the delivery person at UPS, or they're going to work as a meter reader, or the CEO of UK Healthcare, whatever the case may be. So they'll go to their respective areas. There's a town meeting at first. The mayor gets up, and the mayor does like a little proclamation thing. But then they'll open the town. I think one of the first things they do, they pay themselves, and then they go to the bank. One time they actually go to the bank and do the whole deposit slip, and then they do like a direct deposit. They get paid twice a day, and then they'll shop in the town. You know, like Toyota has these cool little things they manufacture, these little squares that they'll sell for $1 or whatever.
So they really understand. Now they're there for one day,
Right.
and they know when they walk in, they've got a job,
Right.
they get paid, they have to go pay their taxes, they've got to do certain things. So they really understand in one day's experience
Right.
what it's like to live in the real world.
Right. Right.
And that's what you want.
Exactly. Yeah, we want them to and be exposed. We want the kids to be introduced to various types of jobs that some kids never may have been introduced to, and actively doing those jobs. So it's not like that. We had a kid a couple of years ago, I know, little kid, he had never heard of what a CPA was. He ended up being a CPA in the Society of CPAs.
I'll be darned.
And he's like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, he would have never had any clue. He may have heard the term, but he was actively doing it. And so then he can decide, okay, is that something I want to do, you know, later in life?
That's a great story. Before, in the last 2 minutes, I want you to give your website
Okay.
and invite companies to be partners with you and let them know what you do.
Sure. jalexington.org. We've got a couple of storefronts that we could sell. We've got street signs. We've got park benches that people can do. There's lots of ways to partner with us on this, or even through regular Junior Achievement. And people are welcome to call us at 859-219-2423.
And you still need volunteers.
Yes, we still need volunteers.
To go into schools.
Right.
On the younger students, how many times do they teach a semester?
They teach, in elementary, they teach 5. They'll teach usually once a week for 5 weeks.
And then high school, it's
maybe
lot more.
Middle 6, and then high school 7.
So you've got a plethora of options for people to volunteer,
Right.
teach their own child Junior Achievement, teach at their favorite school or their church school, but as a corporate partner, they can get involved also.
Exactly.
It's exciting, and
Yeah.
again, Greg Dixon told me about this kind of hush-hush many years ago, and it's exciting that it's finally here.
Yeah.
Can they also call your office for tours?
Oh, sure.
And
sure.
give the phone number one more time, and then we'll say goodbye.
859-219-2423.
I I've memorized that phone number. Then thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
It's really, I'm
Appreciate it.
really happy for you.
Yeah,
I'm Paul Shart here. Thanks for watching. Go to the JA website, look them up, because you will not believe what these kids are exposed to. Thank you.